What's poppin', y'all? This is your DJ Brian Jew, and you're listening to TBS efm. We're here in the dungeon again, and you know what? Someone stole the remote control for the air conditioner. So, not only are we in the dungeon, but that name actually lives down here because it's really muggy, sticky, nasty, no windows. So, it really feels like we're in a dungeon right now. And I just want to warn Eugene, I hope he's wearing cologne or something, some Febreze, because I know I don't stink, but I hate it when our guests stink. Not saying our guests do stink, but just in case I don't tell them to their faces, but sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, why does this person smell like this? You know, those are some things that we just don't say to each other. But I am joking because I know Eugene does not stink. He smells like roses. That's what he is. He's a big rose to me. I know that sounds weird. Anyways, I just want to get into the first song, of course. And the first song is a group that we played for you guys a few times so far. They're a good boy band. Like I said, a lot of people hate on this band because they want to be all macho, especially dudes. Like, I don't like no boy bands. I listen to, like, Def Leppard and Metallica. I'm hardcore. No, you know some Backstreet Boys songs. Everyone does. You know, even if you don't like the songs, you know the lyrics or you know the melody. It happens to us all. And it's related to the word up word of the day today. So make sure you guys listen very carefully, find out what it is. So far, we've had heart, mind, and food this week. So what could the last one be? So check it out, listen to the song, and find out which word it could be. It's related to the ones that we've said so far. So it's Backstreet Boys with Everybody. Once again, that was the Backstreet Boys with Everybody, yeah. And you're listening to What's Poppin' on TBS EFM, and we'll be right back after a message from our sponsors. Welcome back to What's Poppin' with Brian Jew. We're on TBS EFM 101.3 in Seoul and the surrounding areas, and GFN 98.7 in Gwangju and 93.7 in Yeosu. Now, there are a few ways you can get in contact with us here at What's Poppin'. You can send us a text at #1013 for a charge of 51. Send us a tweet at EFM Poppin', or you can send us an email at efmpoppin@gmail.com. Also, you can send us a Kakao Talk message if you add TBS EFM as a plus friend. Also, I wanted to let you guys know to join us for our open studio that airs every Friday, but it's recorded every Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Please send us an email to efmpoppin@gmail.com with your name and telephone number, because if you don't, we won't know how to get in contact with you and reserve your seat for that day. It's fun, though. You know, you guys have to come in and experience it. You know, you get to see me in person. Olivia, Eugene, our, producer, everybody, so it's going to be a fun experience. So if you haven't been to our open studio, we advise you to email us and try to get up in the studio. And now it's time for the word of the day. So the first song was the Backstreet Boys, and it goes, everybody, yeah, rock yo, what? Rock yo, not your head. Rock yo, not your finger. We're talking about everything that includes that. It's your body. Yes. So that's the word up word of the day today. We're talking about your body. Body. B-O-D-Y, body. And everybody has a body. It's really important that we have our body, because if you don't, we dead. So it's very important to take care of your body as well. So that's why I do CrossFit. I know a lot of people make fun of me and say, you're going to hurt yourself, which I've had a few times. But at the same time, I, get back on track and work out again. And it's very important that you guys do the same thing. I'm not trying to enforce CrossFit onto you, but any kind of physical fitness is very, very much needed in our life, and proper eating as well. And that's why I do it. And I hope that everybody out there is taking good care of their bodies, because it's the only thing that you're guaranteed to have with you for your entire life. You're not going to have all your money. We're not going to have all your clothes, but your body is what you have. And you don't want to have wrinkles at the age of 30. No, nobody wants to have wrinkles and look like you're 75 years old when you're 30 years old. And there's a reason why you look that old. It's because you're not taking care of your body. Stay out of the sun. You're allowed to have some sunlight in your life, but don't go in the sun with no, UV protection on. That's just not wise, because you're going to get wrinkles, you're going to get sunburned. It's not safe. So take care of your body and eat right. Now, our next song comes from somebody who was, I guess, in the era of the boy bands, of course, and they're a rival from the Backstreet Boys, and it's actually Justin Timberlake, and he was in a group called NSYNC back in the day, which is also a great group. And like I said, don't hate. You knew NSYNC songs. Bye, bye, bye. I know NSYNC songs. Anyways, here's Justin Timberlake with Rock Your Body. That was Justin Timberlake with Rock Your Body. I just love the line, don't be so quick to walk away. Because technically, if you're going to be quick, it's running away. That's gonna be my line in my next song. Anyways, coming up on today's show, it's Thursday, so that means Eugene will be here for Poppin' News, and we're gonna be talking about trifling people from crazy places in the world, Florida, and some weird stuff about funny things that happen all over the world, Florida, and it's all true. That's the crazy thing about it. So stay tuned for the second half if you want to find out what happens. I'm not hating on Florida. My cousins live in Florida. I love Florida, but I'm just saying a lot of cray things happen up in Florida. So, anyways, next song. When we think about rap music, an image usually comes to mind to everybody in their heads. If you say hip-hop, rap music, everyone gets all stereotypical and image people growing up in the projects, the hood, singing about the hard life they grew up. And, well, this group is different and reached out to suburban kids ever since they started in the 1980s. And many rappers tried and failed to reach the level of success that these guys had. And really, it wasn't until Eminem came along that anyone else succeeded pretty much like these guys. So, of course, I'm talking about none other than the Beastie Boys. Yes, a group that started in the 1980s and was contemporary with LL Cool J. I'm gonna knock you out. That was LL Cool J back in the day. The Frat Boys, not really sure about their music. Run DMC, great artists, and Grandmaster Flash, and the Furious Five. But it's quite possible that they hit their peak in the 1990s. So I know one of the members have passed on, but this is for you guys who don't know the Beastie Boys. Check it out. This is Beastie Boys with Body Movin'. That was the Beastie Boys with Body Movin'. Great song. One of those songs that you want to actually do some B-boy moves to. Anyways, we're at the final song for the first half of our show, and the next song is actually, it came out about 10 years ago by a band called Drowning Pool, and a lot of people thought this song was kind of morbid after the song is called Let the Bodies Hit the Floor. Yes, which makes someone think, immediately about killing people or people just, deceased bodies just falling on the floor after they died. But the song isn't about that at all. It's about the mosh pit. So for those of you who don't know what that is, a mosh pit is when groups of fans at a rock concert start jumping up and down and knocking each other out. Not really like punching each other, but, jumping into each other. Because you're just really, all the adrenaline rush is going through your veins. And you're jumping around, going crazy, feeling the vibe. I haven't done it because I personally think that's a little crazy. I don't want to get hurt. But a lot of people do it. And the mosh pit can be a beautiful thing if you're into that kind of stuff, where people release all their aggression on each other and generally have a good time. But this is what the song is about. And it's not about killing people or dead people. It's about the mosh pit. So here's the song, Let the Bodies Hit the Floor by Drowning Pool. And I'll be back after the break. Check it out. You guys are listening to What's Poppin' on TBS efm. And right now, before we get into the second half of our show, we hear a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to What's Poppin', and now it's time for Paparazzi. And a lot of times on Paparazzi, we talk about how scandals and dramas go, but today we're going to highlight a celebrity who inspires his fans to do good things. I'm not talking about me, ha 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 ha. We're talking about CN Blue, and CN Blue is a Korean band that recently held a concert in Seoul, and their member, Jung Young-hwa's fan club donated a large amount of baby milk, large enough to feed about 24,900 babies, to an adoption agency. The milk was donated under his name. And according to Hangugi, the DC Jeongyonghwa Gallery stated, we decided to donate milk so that infants at the adoption agency unable to find a new families can grow up healthy, drinking good milk. The babies are growing up in the adoption agency because adoption procedures have become more complicated due to an amendment in the Act on special cases concerning adoption. Now, the adoption issue is something that Korea hasn't quite dealt with in the right way, because there's kind of an unwillingness by Koreans to adopt because blood ties are so important here in Korea. So I hope that someone or somehow we can change society so that these children won't be forgotten. We should, enforce adoption. Not enforce it like make it a law, but I urge people, if you can, adopt. Adopting actually just shows you how much you love somebody. And I'm pretty sure these children who are, without families could really use, a guardian in their lives, or someone to love them and take care of them. So since we're talking about CN Blue right now, I'm going to play a CN Blue track for you guys. I believe this is their debut track. It was a great, catchy song. This is CN Blue with Retoria. Welcome back to What's Poppin' for Poppin' News. I'm in the studio with Eugene Huang for Poppin' News.
Hello, Brian.
I don't know why we do this every week. That music just makes you want to sound British, you know?
Or it makes you want to sound very proper because it's very newsy music. You know, I could have used the same
That's
music.
That's a cool word, newsy music.
Newsy music, yeah. We could have used the same music that we have from the TBS efm news, but I think they might get mad at us. So that's why I had to grab the other one.
No, we got to be original, do our own thing.
Of course, of course. So, do you like pizza?
Who don't like no pizza?
Everybody likes pizza. What's your favorite kind of pizza?
Growing up, actually, I like all the combination, mixing stuff up and stuff. But now I'm more keen to just pepperoni.
Just pepperoni.
And extra cheese.
You know, when I was growing up, I used to like the extra cheese and pepperoni, but now I like the ones with anchovies, actually. Have you ever had that?
Ew.
It's salty and fishy, and it's good. Because I like salty, fishy things. No, I'm just kidding. No, seriously, I do.
You
like
got
it.
problems.
No. But you know, in Korea, pizza's kind of different. You know, sometimes they have the.
I feel like Korea's not salty enough. Like a lot of it's a little bland. I don't know if it's the cheese they use.
Very sweet a lot of the time. They put like the sweet potato. And...
Yeah, they put the sweet potato in. They put corn in there.
Yeah, I don't
do no corn in my pizza. Yeah, just a word of advice. Corn and pizza do not get along.
I do know a lot of people that like it, though. Ooh. So, all right, so since we're talking about pizza, there was in Afghanistan, you know, we have United States military personnel are over there right now in Afghanistan. So one group called Pizza for Patriots broke the world record for pizza delivery by delivering 30,000 pizzas to military personnel over in Afghanistan last summer. So this is an official...
How's that even possible?
Well, if you look at the story, we'll read on some more. They basically took the uncooked pizzas and had them delivered by DHL Express to the people in Afghanistan.
Oh, so they delivered uncooked. Okay, I'm thinking you cooked 30,000 pizzas and delivered it all at once.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't be very good because, you know, you have to cook them, I guess, in the United States and then move them over, you know? Okay. They would be cold by the time they got there,
wow,
right?
30,000, that's a lot.
That is a lot. And this broke the world record. It's an official record by the Guinness Book of World Records. Okay.
Wait, so they donated 30,000 or they got paid for those pizzas too?
What do you mean?
Like, they delivered it, but did they get paid for making those pizzas?
Well, it's a charity group called Pizza for Patriots. So I guess they're a nonprofit group. They're founded by a retired Air Force Master Sergeant Mark Evans, and basically they accept donations, and they buy pizzas and deliver them to the soldiers all over the world.
Because I was going to say, if they got paid for that pizza, that's a lot of loot.
Yeah, it is.
30,000 pizzas. Wow.
Yeah, that's amazing. But the DHL Express, they are actually doing the delivery for free.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's awesome too.
That's really good. Evans told the news company that he was very pleased and overwhelmed by the news that they broke the world record, and he said, "This is secondary to taking care of our soldiers and sending them a slice of home."
Aww.
So yeah, pizza's great, and I'm sure the troops really appreciated it. Really cool. I wonder if they would do something like that here. I guess they don't really need to. In the food court, they have pizza, right?
That is true. But, I mean, what if you're a picky eater and all of a sudden this free pizza was sent to you and like, I don't like no pizza. I want a salad. I want a Caesar salad, you know?
Well, they can all eat their MREs, you know? You know what MREs are, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of them.
MREs, for the listeners, are Army field rations that you can cook without anything but water, basically.
Yes, it's not Mr. E. Get an MRE, Mr. E. Anyways.
Right. Let's go to the next story.
Yes.
Do you remember Barbie?
Barbie, the
Barbie
doll?
Yeah, Barbie the doll.
The one that all the girls wanted and wanted to be like.
Exactly.
But you can't, because if you look at the portions of the Barbie doll, they actually did this in Korea. To look like a Barbie doll, you would have to have like a size 10 waist and a size 36 chest. Legs have to be skinny as anything. So if you look like a Barbie doll, you'd be sick looking.
Yeah, but Barbie's hot.
You got problems.
The doll is, though. No, I'm just kidding. So you agree that Barbie is not the best role model for girls, then?
Barbie is the worst role model for girls. I think, in my personal opinion.
Okay, well, there are feminists in Germany that agree with you.
Okay, good.
Yeah, good. Because in Berlin, there was a, I guess it's like a museum, sort of. They have this gigantic Barbie house that's based on her Malibu dream house, which was the toy that came out when we were kids. I remember my friends that were girls had that.
Okay, Eugene, you know you had it.
I did not have any Barbies at all.
You know you had the Malibu dream house.
I did not have that. My friend had it. She had it, but I did not.
But you played with her at her Malibu
dream house. Yeah, I
used
to put my Spider-Man doll in there and fight with Barbie in the Malibu dream house.
So you're one of those guys, right? I did that to my cousin. My cousin would bring her My Little Ponies over to my house.
Oh, yeah?
And have my G.I. Joes and like, die! Die, die.
Or you could make the G.I. Joes ride on the ponies and have them fight each other. Okay, so this Malibu Dream House in Berlin, it opened up, and a lot of people who are fans of Barbie were waiting in line trying to go there. But the problem is that there's people protesting, and they're saying this is a very bad role model, Barbie. So you shouldn't go into there. And so what they did is they held a protest where they threw eggs at the house, and they also, one of the persons said that Barbie is not a very good role model because she basically says there are only two career options for women, model or pop star. And of course, that's actually not true. There were different kinds of Barbies. I remember there was like airline stewardess Barbie or, hairstylist Barbie. Dr. Barbie. There was the doctor. You remember that? Women can be doctors. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's a good role model in those kind of ways. But physically to look like Barbie is... You have to be an alien. Seriously.
I would have to agree with you there. And she also has that makeup that'll never come off.
Exactly.
So.
And trust me. No, they had something, I think I saw it on Twitter or someone's online site that a Barbie thing, like with her makeup on and off. And with her makeup off, she looks like Skeletor.
She looks like Skeletor?
Someone did that, a graphic design thing. It was hilarious.
That is really scary.
Yes, because think about it. She was born with makeup, and she dies with makeup. Could you imagine without the makeup what she looks like? It's probably all wrinkly, all Botoxy, plasticky.
Well, she is plastic.
That is true.
That is very true, right? And did you see the most recent Toy Story movie? I think it was Toy Story 3.
Is Barbie in it?
Barbie is in it.
Is Ken in it?
Ken is also in it, but Ken and Barbie they're trying to get together, but Barbie has a thing for G.I. Joe.
Oh, because Ken is just a pretty boy and G.I. Joe is a macho man. That's probably why.
Well, they do touch on that kind of stuff in that movie. You should watch it.
I haven't seen it yet. I heard it was good.
I didn't think I was going to cry during that movie, but
I heard a lot of people tell me that. A lot of dudes said, I watched Toy Story with my girl thinking, it's going to be a cartoon, animated film, and ended up leaving the studio or the theater crying. I was like, really? It's sad?
There were some really heart-wrenching parts in that movie, and
then I'm gonna do that.
You should definitely watch that.
And today's week is perfect because it's been gloomy all week, so I'm going to go home, been sick for a little bit, y'all, so I'm going to get some popcorn and watch some Toy Story and make sure nobody's around, just me and my dogs, and cry. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let it all out!
Yeah, you should let it all out.
Because I'm all crazy like that.
So, since we were talking about the Barbie Dream House, the next song that we have to play is Aqua with Barbie Girl.
That was Aqua with Eugene's favorite toy growing up, Barbie Girl.
Okay. I love the Barbie. I had the little pink car.
Well, you like destroying Barbies with your Spider-Man.
I did not destroy Barbie.
Toys.
Well, basically, I would have them fight, and then my friend, she would be like, well, Spider-Man and Barbie, maybe they should go out, And then we had the little wedding and everything. Except for, so I put on Ken's tuxedo onto the Spider-Man doll, but you couldn't take his mask off.
It wouldn't fit.
No, the Spider-Man doll there was one that was made by Mattel also, that was life size, same size as Barbie. So if you put the Ken tuxedo on him, it worked, except for, he couldn't take his mask off, so he was just wearing the mask and the tuxedo.
Since we are talking about these toys and stuff like that,
I
hate the fact that people use Barbie as an ideal, like, I'm going to look just like Barbie. And you shouldn't hate on that because it's just a toy. Because if you think about all the superhero toys out there, I want to grow up just to be like Spider-Man. It's impossible. You can't get no webs coming out your arms and hang from freaking spider webs from building to building. So in general, think of it as a toy.
That's true, but I think Spider-Man, people know that is impossible. And that's unreal.
Barbie's impossible either. You can't.
Yeah, she is, but people look at her and they think, that's attainable. And technically it is.
Do you ever think that there could be a crazy person out there who will actually tattoo makeup to their faces to look like Barbie?
I don't know if they would do it to look like Barbie, but I'm sure there are people
We should pay Olivia to do that.
To tattoo makeup on her face?
That'd be awesome for the rest of her life.
But she already looks like Barbie. I mean, come on.
Aw, Olivia, if you're listening, Eugene's hitting on you.
I am not. I'm married.
But we got to get back to our news. We got some trifling news.
Yes, and this news comes out of which state?
Florida.
Florida yet again. Okay,
yes.
So we love Florida a lot because there's so much wonderful news.
We love Florida.
All right, so let's say you saw a police car and there was no policeman in it. What would you do?
I say it's an off-duty police car.
So would you do anything to the police car? You wouldn't touch it? You wouldn't do anything?
No.
Of course not. But in Florida, there was one man named Thomas Quinlan who decided he was going to unlock the door of the deputy patrol car and lean into the front seat And that was when the cop who was inside, I guess, a donut shop nearby, and this is true, he was in the donut shop, he saw the man do that, reach into the car and start messing with his stuff. And so he went out, quickly arrested him, right? So why was he messing with the police car? So he actually got in, sat in the front seat and was messing around. And the cop went in and said, "You're under arrest." And he's like, "What are you doing in here?" And he's like, "Well, there's a dog in the car. And I thought it was a hot day, so I thought I'd let him out." And he's like,
Really? That's his excuse.
That was his excuse. I have no idea what he was trying to do in there, but I mean, that's
if you think about it, that's true. If that's what he really meant, then he's a good pedestrian trying to help out, try to be a good Samaritan with the dog in the car, because dogs can die of heat in cars. But I'm pretty sure these canines are trained to withstand 2 seconds of heat while the cop's going into a donut shop.
Yeah, seriously. And the funny thing is, though, that when they arrested him, he couldn't take the suspect in that particular car, because when you take them in, you have to put them in the kind of car where the doors don't open while you're driving away.
Like child safety locks.
Yeah, kind of like that, or it'll have a cage in front of the front seat
like
and the back seat.
New York City cabs. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. But he wouldn't get into the other car, so he had to call back up, and then they had to put him in, and they had to deliver all these knee strikes to him, because he refused to get into the other patrol car, which, they were like, if you want to get in one car, why don't you want to get in the other one? It's kind of silly.
All right, guys, if you're listening right now and you're walking down the street and you see a police car, even with the dogs in it, do not mess with a police vehicle.
Yeah.
That's just not wise.
Definitely. And if the dog looks like it really, really needs to get out and you cannot see the policeman anywhere, you know what? Just call 911 and the police will take care of it.
Call 911. If you're in Korea, call 119.
Yes.
Yes.
Confucius say, call 119.
Yes, that's the best thing to do. Don't try to be the superhero, because they don't exist. You're not going to teleport, go into the car, teleport the dog out.
Oh, that would be neat. Hey, doggy.
But technically, you can teleport, but the dog can't, because the dog has
right. Well, maybe if you're holding his collar or something, right? Who knows?
You can, electrocute it or something.
I guess so. But, remember we said the guy was trying to let the dog out of the car, right?
Oh, my goodness.
That goes into our next song, which is Who
the last
Let the
song,
Dogs
of course.
Out?
It's probably the last song of our show.
Yes, it is.
So we're going to say goodbye to you guys for now, but we're going to be back tomorrow with our open studio with Miss Olivia Lim, a.k.a. Barbie. And this is the last song of the hour. This is Baha Men with
Who Let the Dogs Out?
And this is Brian Chu
and Eugene Huang.
Signing off.
Peace.